drivers, start your engines! The Lapped Traffic Podcast has brought you over 300 shows, driver and media interviews, awesome stories and entertainment, and one of the coolest fantasy leagues around. Get ready for another exciting season. Sit back, relax, and try not to get lapped. Now, here is your host, the Professor, Brendan Crown.
Yes, it has been crickets from the Lap Traffic Podcast. What is up, everybody? Oh, it's good to be here. It's good to know that everything still works. It's the official Michigan Hype Show. MIS is it's next week. It's less than 2 weeks away. I cannot believe it. So let's see. When I did my last show, which I cannot believe this, back on May 21st, I definitely did not plan for 2.5 months to go by before the next show. I'm glad some of you are still following. The drop count on Twitter hasn't been that horrible. We're still over 7,000. Who knows how many people still have this subscribed to? That's my bad, but hopefully we can pick up some momentum here as summer's wrapping up. Like, it's wrapping up so bad. My wife's got a fall candle lit because it's like 68 degrees. The air is finally off for a minute. I know that'll change because it's still August, but yeah, crazy. And man, what's been going on with you guys the last 2.5 months? What's been going on with me? Where do I begin? Well, I guess let's go back to May because over Memorial Day weekend, about a week after I did the last show, I ended up going even deeper into the catering business and bought a food truck. Well, a trailer. And, that was the goal with things, was to eventually get one. And my goal was, next spring or summer. But I found a deal on a great one that I couldn't pass up. So between catering, doing some part-time work still, prepping the food truck, getting it wrapped with the logo, working with the Board of Health through the inspection process. And oh, by the way, a 2.5-year-old, yeah, things have been a little crazy. The catering company has been, going pretty solid. March was really like our official grand opening. And since March, we've done 28 or 29 events with 5 or 6 more booked, which is awesome. This past weekend, we did our first on-site cooking in the hot August summer sun. We did pulled pork sliders, mac and cheese, brown sugar bacon cheeseburgers, steamed some hot dogs, jumbo pretzels, and took a lot of good notes for the food truck because that is definitely going to come in handy. Lindsay's been busy busting ass doing her thing, helping me with the business, and Alden's just amazing. I can't believe he will be 2.5 in a couple weeks, talking up a storm, transitioned into his big boy bed, and all of that good stuff. So a lot's been going on last 2.5 months, which is why we've kind of been radio silent. But good news, we are here tonight. Got a blockbuster of a show next week, and we'll definitely have our post-MIS, pre-MIS show, all of that good stuff. So a lot planned over the next month to have some shows for everybody. So thank you all for still following, and let's pick some traction back up. That said, I hope everyone's had a great summer, and I definitely plan on finishing out the year season 8 strong as the fall and football gets into the swing of things. Got to have our annual call with Aaron Studwell for Michigan. Things have been going on up at Michigan football, if you haven't heard. So all of that good stuff going on. How about a little shameless plug for said catering company? Three's a Crowd Catering is going to sponsor this week's show. Why? Because it can, because it's mine. Well, they're both mine. So do you want to impress the next crowd you host? Then let Brandon Crowd of Three's a Crowd Catering bring his passion from hosting his own friends in his kitchen to yours, featuring barbecue Italian, and American menu options. Fall and holiday events are right around the corner. Book your next event now by calling or texting 586-668-5835. Visit our website, 3crowdcatering.com. That's the number 3crowdcatering.com. Follow along on social media at 3crowdcatering. Let the crowds cater your next crowd. I just need to get that on a radio plug, and that might actually do something for me. Who knows? Anyways, I teased it a minute ago, a blockbuster show next week. Very, very excited for this. A very unique style show because we'll feature Jeff Striegel for our pre-MIS annual tradition, but we will also have a sit-down interview with Matt DiBenedetto, a tell-all, if you will, to, a lot has gone on with Matt DiBenedetto's racing career, and I feel like it's been choppy. It's come out bits and pieces, and Matt's going to tell it all. He's going to spill it all, kind of get everyone into the loop on what happened throughout the last couple years and what's got him back into the Xfinity ride and all of that good stuff. So I'm very excited for that next week with as we get into MIS week, but a sit down with Matt D and Jeff Striegel next week. So very excited about that. But tonight, what is coming up tonight? Well, it's the MIS Hype Up Show, so that means just one thing. That means Joe Fowler, MIS Truck President, is going to be on. And from FireKeepers Casino, Jim Wise is going to be on, as well as Noah Gragson is going to be on the show as well. So we got it jam-packed for you here as we're coming off a 2.5-month break. The NASCAR's coming off a 21-day break, coming up here, getting ready to go back racing at Richmond this weekend. Let's get things going. Let's get MIS Track President Joe Fowler on the line. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his 4th appearance on the show, but marking our 8th year partnership, if you will, with MIS. Welcome back to the Lap Traffic Podcast, the Track President, Mr. Joe Fowler. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, Brandon. How are you?
I'm awesome, man. It's great to have you on. Great to have you back. It's Jim and I always kind of joke about it when you're on the show, you guys. Then that kind of means summer's over, but I mean it's also race weekend around the corner too. So I'm glad to have you here. And I'll be honest, I could get over like this 100-degree heat we've got going on. So I'm not sore about that either.
Well, you're right. It's hard to believe. I mean, we're just a little over 2 weeks away from having cars on the track here again, which is exciting and great. But it's amazing how time flies. There's no doubt about that. We've, in our neck of the woods, it hasn't been too bad. The weather's been pretty decent to us. So as long as it stays dry for the next couple of weeks to help us get ready, we'll be in good shape.
Absolutely. You guys have been busy over at the track. You and I talked for a few minutes before we got this thing rolling about Faster Horses just finished up. And Faster Horses has been a touring concert, if you will, that's crossed through Michigan for quite a while now. What's obviously some different type of preparations, but tell everyone about like the difference in preparations for that you guys as MIS are involved with that, and it's close to the race weekend. Does that add to the stress level? I would imagine.
It does. It's an interesting one for us. It's a good question because, ultimately Faster Horses is really Live Nation event. And our responsibility in the process is just making sure the grounds are prepared and we're ready to receive all the fans that come in for that event. And similar to a race weekend, I mean, they're camping. They're using the vast majority of our 1,400-acre property, so there's a lot to prepare for. You have to go through all the glamorous things you think of, like making sure the toilets flush and making sure the hand dryers work. But it's all the little details, and it's very much for us similar to preparing for a race weekend. But yeah, they had a great show. I think people loved the music and had a great time. And then when they leave, it's sort of property restoration mode for us, getting the trash cleaned up, and the setup for a concert and their camping setup is a little bit different than it is for a race. So we have barriers to move and fences to adjust and a lot of things that take us a few days, but boy, once it's over, it's a quick turnaround. We're just a couple weeks away, like I said earlier, from the race, and we're ready and we're excited about it. Just a lot of prep work that goes into it.
Yeah, I bet. So one of the things that and it's funny, like I just assume, I'm too old for that type of a crowd, 3 days camping, heat, general admission, like none of that. Like, just like, you know what? That's something that's got my name written on it. So I have not been out there for that, but I have some friends that have gone, and I, like, last year just found out, I assumed the concert would have been in the infield of the track, and it's not, is it?
No, it's we call it the Faster Horses footprint, but it's essentially our property on the east side. So sort of over by M50, and that's where they actually put the stage up, and it goes from that intersection of the main entrance of M50 all the way down to US 12, and that's really where the concert is. And it's an absolutely massive footprint. But you think about our property, and I know you've been here many times, the infield, Graves Campground, Tree Farm Campground, Brookfest, Brooklyn Trails, all of those campsites are open and just packed full of people. And then, when the show starts or the day gets going, everybody sort of migrates over to that east side of the property where the footprint is. And it's a lot of people, and they take up a lot of space, and it's a cool event.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, Joe, let's talk about the weekend. We've got ARCA Racing, Xfinity Racing, of course, Cup Racing. Who are the sponsors this year? Hit everybody with the ticket info and all that good stuff.
Sure. Well, the lineup is pretty similar to last year, obviously, because of the Olympic break. We're pushed back into August a little bit. But, Friday is our ARCA Menard Series race, the Henry Ford Health 200. That's on Friday, August 16th. And then, like you said, NASCAR Xfinity Series is back with Cabo Wabo, the Cabo Wabo 250. And then Sunday, of course, the FireKeepers Casino 400, which we're looking forward to on Sunday, August 18th. So in terms of the partnerships and the, call it overall format, it's pretty similar to last year. But, this time it's going to be dry. I can tell you that much right now.
Oh, I love that. I know that at Race Weather will appreciate that one as well. Within with the sponsors, like you said, returning, right? And I talked about Jim with this, between Faster Horses and turning that over, and obviously partnerships and sponsors and things like that at this level, that's not something you're at least you hope it's not something you're putting together, this close to an event. So it's obviously stuff that's long-term agreements and things like that. But that's got to be just a huge sigh of relief to know that you've got returning sponsors that want to come back, and that's maybe one less thing that you have to worry about to be able to focus on the property or what have you.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, continuity in your partnerships is really important. And I use partnerships as opposed to sponsorships because, whether it's Henry Ford Health, whether it's Cabo, FireKeepers, Cabo is relatively new to us as a partner. This will be their second year here at MIS in an entitlement capacity, but you learn a lot through the years. The first year you come up with a plan and you kind of learn things that you can do different or things you can do better or things that you've done really well that you can expand on. And I think with all three of our entitlement partners, that's been the case over the years. And FireKeepers has been with us for a very long time. And I think I've told this story maybe even on this show before. They started as a hospitality partner, and curiosity and just trying new things got us to the point where we are today. So, having them as the biggest partner we have, really the crown jewel of Cup Series race, that's awesome. And they're great people to work with. And we spitball ideas all the time, things that we can do just a little bit different or one more thing that we can give to our fans that's unique to MIS. That's all part of it. And I think that's what makes a race weekend so special is because everybody works together.
That's awesome. I love it. Speaking of the fans, what kind of unique ticket packages, different options for those that, want something extra other than just, your grandstand seats, if you will, do you guys have this year?
Yeah, well, one thing that's really important to us is we like to have a little bit of something for everybody. And, when you look across our fan base, we have people that will come in for the day, whether that's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We have people that want to be here for the whole weekend. We have people that want to camp. We have people that want, a very elevated experience. We have others that just want to get in the door and see a good race. And so one thing I love about our website is the fact that on mispeedway.com, you can get there and you can look at all the different offerings. So, camping starts at $130. We have pre-race passes for somebody that has a ticket and wants to go down to, the trioval area right in front of the stage to watch driver intros. We have family affordable pricing, whether that's a family 4-pack, so 2 adult tickets and 2 youth tickets. We have a little something for everybody. And I'll tell you one other thing we have right now. We don't have a lot of it, but we do have some Champions Club tickets, which in my opinion is one of the best views of the entire place. It sits just below our Sky Tower suites, but just above, our highest level of the grandstands. And, that's a ticket where you have a stadium style seat. You can go back and forth inside of a club where there's F&B. That's a great one. If you would like to be on the inside, we have our Victory Lane Club, which I believe at this point is sold out. But similar to the Champions Club, it's food and beverage, but it's an indoor seat. There's access to the rooftop of the pit suites, and so you are just to say you're there when the pit stops happen, short of performing the pit stop yourself, you're about as close as you can get.
Absolutely.
When they come down pit road. Yeah, it's really cool. And so we have all of these different options for fans, and that's really, really important to us, especially right now on the family affordability side. When fuel is $4 a gallon and things are just costing more, it's important for us to give options to young people, to families, to come out and have a great time and not have to spend a lot of money to do it.
And get those new people out there, so that's that helps too. If you're listening to my podcast, odds are it's probably not your first time at a race, but it's great to hear and see all of the yellow cautioned taped people walking around at MIS. That's one of my favorites. I typically bring T-shirts, koozies, stickers, all that kind of stuff with me that I give away at either the tweet up or whatever. And if I'm walking around and I see someone, I definitely try to walk up and give them something that I've got in my bag just to, just why not? Hey, it helps. And I love everything about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fun to have people here for the first time. That's one of my favorite experiences for me on a race weekend, is just to talk to somebody who's here. They have no idea where they're going. They have no idea what to do, and just to kind of help educate them and coach them along on all the things that they can enjoy while they're here at MIS. It's a blast. And it's good to see so many new people coming into the sport. That's a really refreshing thing for us. That's how our sport grows, right? It's not only going to new markets and trying new things, but it's new people coming to the track for the first time, and we're definitely seeing that.
It's funny. I told Lindsay the other day, I said, whenever this podcast thing runs its course, which it will eventually, and I understand that, I'm like, I still got to be able to do something at MIS other than just sitting in the stands, because I've been doing this for so long and it's been so cool. I'm like, I want to be one of those guys that just drives people that are clueless, that have no idea where they're going, around in a golf cart. So I'm like, I got to do something. So I'll figure out a way to weasel my way into that role in some capacity in a few years.
No problem. We'll put you to work. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all.
I love it. Let's see. So we've covered tickets. Oh, what about camping, infield camping? I know that's, I would imagine that's got to be sold out at this point.
It is sold out. It's amazing. That's, one of the coolest experiences for campers that are just the hardcore race fan, want to be right in the center of the action. We sold it out last year, and we expected to do the same again this year. We sold it out about 3 months earlier than we expected to this year. And I think that speaks to just the enthusiasm for the sport, the enthusiasm for MIS, and that experience down in the infield. So while that is sold out, we still have a ton of camping options available for, if you want something a little quiet, something a little more family oriented. Graves Campground is a great way to go. It sits on the south side of our property. And then we have some more upbeat and lively campgrounds, we'll call them.
Sure.
Tree Farm is an example, and Creekside, where there's still a party atmosphere and it's still a great time. But yeah, camping is just such a huge part of what we do here at MIS. It's a huge part of the state where we live in,
Sure. Yep.
So it's not a surprise, but it's just, it's neat for me to see that and just continue to build momentum, because it's, a lot of those campers are new campers coming to MIS for the first time. So they're new race fans, and the experience they get here is just amazing. And we love it when they come back year after year after year.
Absolutely. All right, Joe, hit everyone with the website, phone number, all that good stuff.
Yep. So 888-905-7223 is the best way to reach an agent who can help you kind of get set up with what you might want for your race weekend. And mispeedway.com is hands down the best way to learn about what packages are available, what options are available. We have the Eric Jones package up, I think front and center on our website right now, which is cool. Eric's a Michigan driver. If you're a Michigan fan, or if you're here and you want to follow Eric, that's a great option. But all of that information is right there on our website. Again, mispeedway.com.
Awesome. Joe will be there in a few weeks. I will be there in a few weeks. Can't wait to see all of you in a few weeks. Joe, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure. Enjoy it, and try to stay sane, get some sleep, and we'll see you on race weekend.
I'll do my best. Thank you, Brandon. Look forward to seeing you.
Thanks, man. We'll see you. Well, Lap Traffic Nation, so great to talk to Mr. Joe Fowler from MIS. Cannot wait to get out there next weekend. Been long overdue to get to a race, and I am very excited about that. Now's the time where normally I would do some race recaps and all that, but I mean, hey, it's been weeks since there's been a race. It's been months since I've done a show. We all know where everything stands, and that'll be fun to do next week with Jeff Striegel, as we're able to actually recap Richmond, hype up Michigan even more, and talk about where things are at with just a couple, right now 4 races to go in the regular season. So instead of rehashing what you already know, how about we talk to Noah Gragson? All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his second appearance on the show. He is the driver, the number 10 Overstock.com Ford Mustang Dark Horse for Stewart Haas Racing. Welcome back to the show, Noah Gragson. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Man, if you count the All-Star Weekend, you guys went 23 weeks straight. That is a long time without an off week. Did that take a toll on you, and did you guys get to do anything fun during the Olympic break?
Yeah, it's definitely a long schedule in the NASCAR Cup Series, but it's a full-time job, 7 days a week. You got to be building relationships and at the simulator and whatnot. So I'm really, excited every week going to the racetrack, but that much needed off time, 2 weeks off was definitely very valuable. So we're excited. Was in the simulator for Richmond this week and really excited for Richmond. I feel like we got a pretty good package. So, I enjoyed my time out in Vegas and California and went to Brandon McReynolds' wedding. So it was a good time. Awesome,
man. That's awesome. Yeah. 21 days between races, from a prep side of things, you hit the simulator. Is it hard to go 21 weeks straight and then to shut your mind off 21 days? Like, did it even feel weird getting in the simulator, or, you like you said, this is your full-time job. You guys are professionals. Was it, like riding a bike and, back to normal?
Yeah, I felt like it was like riding a bike back to normal. It felt really good to get back into the seat and make laps. And it's like we raced last week, so
that's awesome. Kicking things back off this weekend at Richmond, finished 12th there back in the spring. Pretty solid stat line there, including a win in the Xfinity Series. What is it about Richmond that you seem to gravitate towards?
I just love how worn out that track is, and it's a challenging racetrack to get the car connected and get a neutral balance, entry, center, and exit, and get the car flowing through the corner well and have enough drive. You're always driving off the right rear tire there, I feel like. So to be able to keep the tires attached and keep gripping them and not be spinning the outside right rear tire, it's important. So there's a lot of challenges with that track. It's been pretty natural to me since my first start there in the K&N series back in 2015. So I've always liked it. I've had good speed there, have good runs, and was able to win an Xfinity race there in 2022 or 21. So, it's just a fun racetrack for me.
That's awesome. Speaking of tires, going back to Indy, we saw a unique, I don't know if you want to call it, situation with tires. I remember, I think it was back 2008, the tire fiasco where it felt like they were throwing a caution every 10 laps because of the tires were shredding. What was it about that race, how it ran, that caused that tire situation?
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what the cause of that was, but I just tried to take each week as a new opportunity, and it's kind of a rare situation. So,
right.
I don't know if it'll happen again or.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
What the case was there, but yeah.
And one more with tires, actually, this weekend, there's going to be 2 different tire options. Is that something you and your crew chief have talked about, or, is that, just another wrench to throw into an already, crazy race with having 2 tire options available?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's going to, create a bit of chaos and just trying to figure it out on the fly. I think you'll see them being different than maybe Richmond was. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see this weekend. I don't really know what to expect.
After Richmond, we are heading to my home track, Michigan. Tonight's the official hype show for that. 3 unique tracks to kind of wrap up the regular season with Richmond, MIS, and Daytona. Only 1 start in the Cup cars, but 3 top 3s in the Xfinity Series at Michigan. Everyone talks about turn 1 being intimidated, but I don't think you're intimidated there. What is it about Michigan that you seem to like?
Yeah, that place has also been really natural for me from racing there in trucks, and we had a lot of speed there in the Xfinity cars, finished 2nd and 3rd and maybe 3rd twice. So definitely have wanted to knock off a win. We're going to be running the Xfinity car there that weekend as well.
Oh,
so,
awesome.
At the time when I was racing Cup in 2022, my only start at the Cup Series at Michigan, that was the best qualifying. I think we were qualified 12th. We drove up to 3rd during green flag speed. Felt really comfortable and confident at that racetrack for whatever reason. It's a fun place, and I don't know why it naturally suits me, but I feel like I get around there all right. So we definitely have had that one circled all year. Did a little sim time at that track this morning, and it was really good. So,
Sweet.
Definitely excited for that one, and it's a fast place. It's probably the fastest place we go in the Cup Series. Speed's probably up to 200 miles an hour, and you're hauling the mail. It's a challenging racetrack, and it's a lot of fun to drive from the driver's seat.
It's a lot of fun to watch from the press box too. I'm glad that's my home track. The Irish Hills are known for its hidden gems. I've talked with drivers over the years, especially back in the 3-day weekend at MIS. They'd go find a really cool golf course, bars, restaurants. Some would even make their way to downtown Detroit, which is awesome. Is there anything you like to do in Michigan if you're able to sneak away from the track?
I haven't been able to do too much stuff up there near Michigan Speedway, but the infield's always rowdy there. It's a lot of fun to be able to go cruise through there and check out everybody camping. They get a heck of a crowd up there. So that's always fun to do. Also, another place I like is in Ann Arbor. They shut it down. We weren't able to go last year. I don't know if they're remodeling or not, but there's a Mongolian grill. It's called BD's, and it was really, really good. So they cook it right in front of you and stuff. It's You choose what you want. It's a really good place. So we always used to like going up there and getting dinner there.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Noah, I know you got a few of these, so I will let you go. Thanks for coming back on the show. Good luck this weekend at Richmond and the rest of the season, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Take care. We'll see you.
Bye.
Well, Lab Traffic Nation, there you have Noah Gragson. Can't wait to see what he's got in a couple weeks at MIS. All right. Well, what do you say? It's been a minute. Little Lab Traffic social media. Everybody make sure you check out the website, thelabtrafficpodcast.com, Facebook, The Lab Traffic Podcast, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all at Lab Traffic PC. I promise to be more engaged on social media as we head into the playoffs and wrapping up the 2024 season. If you've made it this far into the show, leave a review. Tell your friends that I come on every once in a while. I'm just totally poking fun at myself here. Let's see. We still got stickers, koozies, all that good stuff. I will have a bunch to give away at MIS in a couple weeks, as well as I'll mail them out for free. All you got to do is reach out to me. Let me know. I will send them over to you. And let's see. We've got one more interview for you guys. You guys know I am no stranger to the casino, the sports book, all of that good stuff. So why not get our friend from FireKeepers Casino, the race sponsor of Michigan this year and has been for quite some time, Mr. Jim Wise, back on the line. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, joining me on the line, making his 6th appearance on the show. He is the VP of Marketing and Online Games at FireKeepers Casino, who will be the race sponsor here in just a few short weeks. Welcome back to the Lap Traffic Podcast, Mr. Jim Wise. What's up, man? How are you?
We're doing well, Brandon. Great to be with you as always, and we're excited now. You know, we're in the month of August, so now we're talking about just being days away from the 2024 FireKeepers Casino 400. So, yes, the anticipation is growing, and we're getting pretty psyched for it here.
That's awesome. What year does this mark with your relationship with MIS?
Well, we've actually been involved with them for about 9 years, but I think our race year, I think this is going to be race year number 8 for us. We were kind of the pit, we weren't pit sponsor initially, but then we took on pit sponsor and then we went up to race sponsorship.
Awesome. And I mean, it's just been a great relationship. I've been honored to kind of work both with obviously MIS and you guys over the last, I think this is this is your 6th appearance on the show. So for the last 6 years. So it's been awesome. And I actually went to lunch with Joe Fowler, who will be on the show later tonight as well, back in March, and just had a great chat with him and, you know, talked about the relationship with FireKeepers and what it means to have that kind of in-state relationship, which is really cool.
Yep, absolutely. Our first one was actually 2016 when Joey Logano captured the first FireKeepers Casino 400, and we've gone on from there.
Oh, that was okay. Not to bring up sour grapes, but that was a rain delay race, right? That ended up finishing on Monday, didn't it?
That is correct. We've had a couple of those over the years, in fact. Yes, we have not been always Mother Nature's best friend on race day, but we've learned how to do it and deal with it, on a second day, and that's just kind of the way that goes sometimes, and we've learned how to deal with that.
But I will say this, and the fans, especially of MIS and of the show, that race, in a lot of people's opinion, kind of shaped the culture and opinion of the Michigan race. I mean, that I know is a definitive date for a lot of fans in terms of when racing kind of, went from the snooze fest a little bit at MIS to really must-watch racing. So, I mean, that's a good thing. So.
And we've had some great races. Yes, we've been weather challenged, but we've had some great racing the last couple of years. And, we were happy to make sure that we kept NASCAR racing in Michigan at Michigan International Speedway. So when it went from 2 races down to 1, we were thrilled to be able to hold on to that and extend our deal with the MIS folks. So, we're certainly in for the long haul with them, and we're thrilled.
That's awesome. And as far as FireKeepers is concerned, you guys are celebrating a milestone within the month of August as well, on top of your obligations with MIS. Tell everyone about that and what's going on at the property lately.
Well, this is a huge month for us because it's our 15th anniversary. So we're just excited and running things throughout the month. So We actually are doing 5 times points as an example, and that comes up on the 15th of August from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., so you can earn 5 times points with your Red Hot Rewards card. We have a $114,000 slots exclusive for slot players. We're giving that all away. We're talking big cash. That's the 10th of August from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can win. One winner will actually win a total of $30,000 between cash and Red Hot credits. So that's a huge event. On the 5th, we actually are going to cut some cake and actually celebrate and have drawings in the afternoon. And then, oh, yeah, by the way, on the 16th of August, we're going to have a young man named Chase Elliott actually live here at FireKeepers. It's also kind of something we've traditionally been doing really since we got involved with MIS, is to get a driver every year. And to get the guy who seems to win every year as the most popular driver was really exciting for us. So we know that that's going to be a huge turnout, and that is the 16th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. You do have to be 21 years of age or older, because we do that on the casino floor, and people will line up and kind of wind all around the building to get ready to meet our driver. Last year, for example, was Kevin Harvick, and on his kind of outgoing year, that was a huge outpouring of his fans, and I'm sure Chase will do the same thing on August 16th.
I was going to say, we may have to elaborate on who Chase is. I don't know if the listeners know, if I've heard that name before. But yeah, I can only imagine the turnout that's going to get. I've had the opportunity to be out there with you guys the last couple of years for Kevin and Joey, and the lines just get longer. One of the things that I absolutely love seeing is what people bring to get signed, right? You got people that like their pictures, and you've got people that'll bring in some unique pieces of sheet metal, tire. I mean, you'll name it, you'll see it with people trying to bring it in to get signed, right?
You're absolutely right. We'll invariably get a call from our security saying, there's a guy with a fender here. Can we let him in? There's a guy with a tire here with a letter of authenticity. Can we let him in? And as long as it's not going to hurt somebody and isn't too big, then if somebody can carry it themselves and not cause a potential injury problem, we let them in. And, of course, there's always these specialty cars that they want to get autographed, and it's just amazing the popularity of product like that. And we'll take everybody's picture and make sure they get an autograph, and if they got a cell phone, we'll give them a quick picture with that. But it's amazing what does come along with everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to see. Jim, talk about on-track presence. What can fans expect from FireKeepers race weekend out there?
So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they can head out in Fan Plaza. We'll have a booth set up out there. We'll be playing some games and giving away all sorts of product. No cost for any of that. We do ask for a little bit of information from you, but we give away lots of swag and have a good time with it and make sure everybody leaves a winner. There's no such thing as thanks anyway. We'll try again next year. So we make sure everybody comes away with something FireKeepers logoed and have a lot of fun with it. So we encourage people to come out into Fan Plaza when you're going to see whether it's the great cars or the car manufacturers who are set up, or you want to get some food. Make sure you stop by and see us in Fan Plaza. We look forward to it, and that's all 3 days.
Awesome. And Jim, we'll wrap with what has been tradition of something I have to bring up every time we talk, and that is the ever popular, incredible FireKeepers Casino 400 trophy that you guys will give away. Can you give any leaks, any big changes to it this year? How's the design coming for that?
So we haven't made a lot of changes. Anything has just been very minor. We think that trying to do better than that slot machine is somewhat of an unproductive waste of our time. We love the slot machine. The winner every year seems to be really happy with the slot machine trophy. It obviously ties together perfectly with our brand. So we make some minor copy tweaks, but the slot machine will continue to be our kind of iconic. And I think it's the kind of the right thing for us to have for the longer term. We've
Absolutely.
tried table games trophy and some other things, but you want to be able to recognize it from a distance, and you can recognize that slot machine from a distance and understand exactly what's going on and what that's all about. And again, we always take it from the drivers. Like Chris Buescher last year was like, I'm taking that thing with me, in my RV as I go to my next location, and he was posting pictures with it. So when the drivers get excited for it, then we realize, we're kind of on the right track, and we don't have to feel like we need to go compete with ourselves to create a better trophy this year than past years. So, those people want that trophy because obviously it's a great trophy and a big check for winning. But right now, there's 12 drivers already in the chase because they have a win. So there's certainly a lot of competition in these last few remaining races to grab one of those remaining spots. And you got a lot of big names that still aren't in yet. So whether it's a Martin Truex or a Chris Buescher or a Kyle Busch or Bubba Wallace, a lot of people who really want to get into that chase, and they're going to be competing hard around that Michigan pathway to get themselves not only to victory lane, but also to get themselves into the playoff.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. I lied. I do have one other one for you that I wanted to ask you about, and that's the Sportsbook app. How's that going? Any additional promotions or anything like that for race weekend new user signups?
There will always be a ton of extra race associated wagers. So people coming into Michigan who can live in another state, you can live in another state and have the FireKeepers iGaming app as long as any business you want to do with it is done within the confines of the state of Michigan. So you can live in Michigan or you can live anywhere else. And if they're listening to this and when they get to Michigan, they should download the app if they don't already have it and set it up, because we'll have tons of things, whether it's one driver versus another wagers, or whether it is people who will win a stage or something of that nature, which brand of car is going to be the one that wins. So we'll have tons of different options for everybody to get ready for the FireKeepers 400.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Jim, thank you so much for taking some time to come on and hype up race weekend here in a couple weeks. I look forward to seeing you guys out at the track race weekend. And like I said, it's a pleasure to have you on, and we'll talk with you soon, sir.
You got it. We're excited to be on as always. We remind people to be here on the 16th to have that chance to see Chase Elliott, and get here early, because that's going to be a long line, and we'll move you through as quick as we can. So, don't be bringing 10 things to sign. We can do a couple, and then we got to get you on so that we can get everybody through.
Love it. All right, man. Thank you so much. We'll talk with you soon.
All right.
Thanks. We'll see ya. All right, Lap Traffic Nation, there you have Jim Wise, the head of marketing for FireKeepers Casino. Very, very excited for the race coming up here in a couple weeks. Excited to get back to the track, ready to go feel at home, at peace in my serenity, MIS Speedway. All right, well, let's close this thing out with some Lap Traffic Fantasy. Yes, Lap Traffic Fantasy, even though there has not been a show, has been going on in the background, and I am excited to see who walks away with the championship this year. It is possible that we could have our first repeat winner, and not even repeat, but back-to-back repeat winner this year in Andrew Yu. We'll see what happens there. Keep the Twitter interaction up using hashtag LTFantasy. There's only 4 more race weekends to go before we get our playoff grid. And don't forget, as it was last year, expanded to 24. So the top 24 cumulative will make it. That said, we will recap the standings. Currently, right now, segment 2 in first place is Andrew Yu with 950 points. In second with 913 is Logan Cummings. In third with 907 is Dan Sherwood. In fourth with 890 is Ray Carbello. In fifth with 882 is Carson Hagelin. In sixth with 861 is Patty Coy. In seventh with 834 is Chad Harrington. A two-way tie for eighth with 830, Charles LaPearl, Josh Rolfe. In ninth with 824, yours truly. And wrapping out the top 10, segment 2 is Scott Wagner. Bonus points, let's see, Carson Hagelin and Mark Ludington are killing it with 12. Aaron Studwell, Dalton Brooks, David James, Justin Hughes have 11. Andrew Yu, Chad Harrington, Charles LaPearl, Robert Wiggs have 10. Brian LaFell, Joe Hewson, Kirk Brockman, Logan Cummings have 9, and so on and so forth. Over to the cumulative standings. In first place, last year's winner, Andrew Yu with 2135. In second place with 2101 is Dan Sherwood. In third place with 2069 is our segment 1 winner, Dalton Brooks. In fourth with 2061 is Logan Cummings. In fifth place with 2047, Matt Dombrowski. In sixth with 2041, Carson Hagelin. In seventh with 1996 is yours truly. In eighth with 1992, Charles LaPearl. In ninth with 1982, David Mullins. 10th place, 1976, Robert Riggs. 11th with 1963, Tony LeBay. In 12th with 1953, Kristen Hagelin. In 13th is Jess Rose. In 14th is Mark Ludington. In 15th is Steve, DFS NASCAR guy. And wrapping out the top 16 with 1923 is Kurt Brockman. All right, the Olympic break is over. We are back racing, headed to Richmond, which is typically thought of to be dominated by Toyota. However, Toyota driver Denny Hamlin picked up his 5th win at Richmond back in March of this year. Who is going to get it done this weekend when we go back racing with just 4 races to go in the regular season? Let's see. We're kicking it off with the Truck Series. I am going to go with the 11 of Corey Heim. And in the Cup Series, I am going to go with the 17 of Chris Buescher. Those are my picks. There you have it. Episode number 335 is in the books. Lap Traffic Nation, thank you so much. Make sure you check out the website, thelaptrafficpodcast.com, Twitter @LapTrafficPC. Huge thank you to Joe Fowler, Jim Wise, Noah Gragson for being on the show. And don't forget, next week, Jeff Striegel and Matt DiBenedetto. Don't get caught chasing the lucky dog. Tune in each and every week or whenever I feel like doing it to the Lap Traffic Podcast. See ya.